You may know Fresh Patch from Shark Tank, Oprah, or The Today Show. This is the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it. Sit back, put your paws up, and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it. This is our second edition of the Fresh Patch Podcast, and super excited to talk with everyone today. I'm here with my amazing co-host, Gabe, and we have some very awesome guests on the screen today. We're doing a little Zoom, so if you guys wouldn't mind introducing yourself and say hi to the people.
Hi, people. My name is David Loop. I am founder and president of Sierra Pacific Fur Babies. We were founded February 5th of 2014.
Awesome.
I am Stephanie Vanderzanden. I'm vice president of Sierra Pacific Fur Babies. I've been a part of the organization for 5 years.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well, hey, again, thank you guys so much for coming on today. We're really excited to talk about your organization. We've been working pretty closely the past few months, ever since we met at CatCon, which we'll get into a little bit more later. But you guys are doing some really awesome stuff for some animals in need. So we're excited to highlight that.
Yeah, definitely. And before we really dive into things, I just want to tell everybody that's watching, listening, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, like, comment, and, check things out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and go ahead and give David a follow as well. We'll have your social handles up on the screen for everyone that is watching. So take a second for that. But yeah, super excited. I know, like we said before we started recording, we've never met officially. So it's really great to meet you guys. I've gotten a lot of stories from my team, and especially with all your help at CatCon and everything, and amazing, organization, everything you guys do. So really glad you guys have all built a relationship and everything. So, and excited to get to know you more today on this episode. Yeah. So, I think if you want to dive right in, Gabe, or you guys have any more thoughts before we start ringing in the questions?
Absolutely. So, I mean, you're a super charismatic guy. People on social media, like, they love you. It's really, really cool to see like how loyal of a, it's like a fan base that you have. And it's great because it's like in support of a great cause. So for listeners who may not know you yet, could you share a little bit about yourself, and how Pacific Fur Babies got started? And Stephanie, if you have anything to add to that as well, that'd be awesome.
Well, I guess I'll start. I founded the rescue, as I mentioned earlier, February 5th of 2014. That's when we obtained our official nonprofit status. And I had been rescuing probably about a year prior to that as what we call independent rescue, indie rescues. So believe it or not, it started with a dog, and this dog's name was Bob Marley, and he was posted on social media. Instagram wasn't around, I don't know, there wasn't, the TikTok, none of that. The only thing that I knew of was Facebook, and shortly had been MySpace or something.
Yeah.
But so some friends of mine, some young ladies, posted this dog that was on the euthanasia list at a Devore animal shelter. And when I saw this post and I saw the picture of the dog, I thought to myself, I'm telling you, I don't mean to be cruel, but it was the ugliest dog I'd ever seen. And he just had these dreadlocks, and you couldn't even see his face, and he looked old. And I thought to myself, there's no way anybody's going to say that's the dog I want to take home to my family. And I thought how sad it was that this poor dog's going to die today because of his appearance. So I told the girls, I messaged them and I said, hey, never done this before, don't know how it works, but I'll pay his bail, whatever it takes to get him out. Let's try to save this dog's life. So between me and 3 or 4 other girls, we set up a transporter, someone to go, someone came by my facility and picked up the money. Somebody went there to the animal shelter and basically adopted the dog. Somebody else volunteered their grooming services for him. Another young lady offered to house him and foster him. And we got him cleaned up, and he turned out to be the cutest, sweetest little dog ever. And it was just so heartwarming saving this dog's life that I knew at 5 o'clock that day, his life was going to be extinguished. So that was my first taste of rescue, that dog, Bob Marley.
Wow.
He was very old and he lasted for about a year after we got him out.
Aw.
Nice.
But he was loved every single day, every single minute of that year of his life. And so that's how the rescue started. That was the first taste of rescuing animals for me.
That's an amazing story. I mean, a great fitting name. You know, you said the dreadlocks, Bob Marley. It's perfect. That's such a good story though, and I'm glad you've that's what opened up your
It,
eyes to what
yeah,
rescuing can be and stuff. And glad Bob Marley did have a little bit more life with you, for a year. That's awesome. So,
Yeah, I love hearing those stories of like, dogs heading into the end of their life
mhm.
and just getting a little bit of love and, getting the taste of, you know, uh some of that family atmosphere on the way out.
Yeah,
So really
exactly.
cool to hear.
Yeah, that's great. So, and then you said you started Sierra Pacific Fur Babies 2014. So, how did that kind of really take off with like the cat side of things?
well, okay. So after Bob Marley, there was a cat, and it happened to be a black cat at the exact same shelter. We call it Deadly Devore Animal Shelter. I hope they're not listening, but they're known for euthanizing cats and dogs 7 days from the time their intake till they don't give them much time. By the time the owners even find out that they're at the shelter, their pet may have already been euthanized. It's
Wow.
really sad. So there was a
Yeah.
black cat that was on the youth list for that day, and I found out, I had no idea that black cats are the least likely to make it out of the shelters alive, because of their, the superstition aspect of it.
Mhm.
And, that people want the pretty, colorful, exotic cats.
Hmm.
And so I same thing. I thought that's really sad. I just learned it that, this poor black cat's probably not going to make it out of the shelter alive. Same thing, went down there, got the cat out. So I had I started with the dog Bob Marley, and then I rescued the black cat, and then there was another cat that was the same thing. It was on the youth list, so I started spending a lot of my own money, paying for this, and then paying for the food, and I thought to myself, I had heard of other rescues that were nonprofits, didn't know anything about it. I literally bought a book. It was called Nonprofit for Dummies. And I read that book cover to cover, and I thought to myself, you know what? I think I could do this. At the time,
Wow.
I just thought once you become a nonprofit, your worries are over, and money will be coming in. And I didn't realize the whole logistics of it at the time, but I just thought, but that was the first step of it. So I formed the nonprofit, and applied for our paperwork. And again, we got our nonprofit status in February 5th of 2014.
Wow.
Awesome.
It's really cool to hear, one of those like blah 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 for dummies book. Like they actually
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They dumbed it down for me, and they, explained how to do it in the proper paperwork to file.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool. No, I never trusted those books for
Yeah,
some
right?
things. Thought they
Yeah.
were fibbing me, but yeah, you want to pass it on to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. So we kind of mentioned it earlier, but just wanted to thank you guys again for helping us out at CatCon.
Of
We
course. Yeah. It was
we
fun. It was
actually
such a pleasure to meet you guys.
yeah, no, it was super awesome. Like at the time of CatCon is when we had just launched our cat condo. So we
Hmm.
had this giant cardboard cat house and we had a team of three there
Yeah.
and we put it together and it was all good and then it came time to take it apart and everyone's leaving. We're like one of the last people there. And David, your team saw us struggling and you came out and helped us out and we were like, wow, this guy is amazing. So again, thank you for that.
Of course.
What is there anything that kind of sticks out to you from that memory?
I think it's funny you mentioned that, because myself and our entire team, this is how the mindset that we have. If we
Hmm.
see something, whether it's an animal or a person struggling, we're going to help them,
Mhm.
and that's what we did. We saw you guys over there, and we thought, come on team, let's go help them.
That's
So I
incredible. Yeah.
appreciate the recognition on that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I guess it takes like 20 people to
Yeah,
to
yeah,
take
we
that
found
on.
that out the hard way, but no, that's an
Yeah,
amazing way to
Yes.
approach, just life in general. So, helping anywhere you can is a huge win. And, I wasn't there, so I really appreciate you guys helping. I felt so bad. I was actually on vacation. My vacation just lined up with that, and I was like, and I'm allergic to cats, but
oh
find
boy.
out later there's no cats actually there, so I would have been fine. But Yeah, no, I just really the stories they told me that you guys helped out was amazing. So really appreciate that. It made some
Yeah.
good content too. I know I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw our post on TikTok about it. But Gabe kind of curated a little compilation of the struggles getting it down,
Yeah,
hanging on it, and like getting the roof off and stuff. And then you guys come in, with the blue shirts, and it just
Yes.
goes, and it's like, all right,
yeah,
yeah,
good memories.
yeah, great. Um, okay, cool. So that's going over CatCon. And then I feel like you've kind of already answered this and stuff, but maybe there was a highlight moment. But what was the moment that made you realize rescue work was something you wanted to fully commit to? Was it after the book for dummies, or was it just kind of a little bit
Well,
before that?
so I got to give you a little history on back then in the very beginning of the rescue when I first founded it. My vision wasn't this
Hmm.
where we're at now. It certainly wasn't. I thought I'm going to get a couple cats out, maybe rescue a dog every now and then, keep it very low, and keep it, under the radar, just save some lives. Um, Sorry about that.
You're
Great
good.
ringtone.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We put that on silent.
Awesome
So,
ringtone.
and what happened was, I've always been back before dash cams were even popular. I had dash cams in my vehicles, and I was on my way to work, and it was so it was July 31st of 2015. The rescue hadn't been founded for very long, and I got off the freeway, and then I passed this little dog in the middle of the road, little white dog, and there was a center divider. Her head was in the lane, and I literally had to kind of dodge from running her head over. And I just thought to myself, how sad, this poor little dog in the middle of the road. And she was obviously deceased. And I thought, when I come back home, I don't want to see this dog smashed. So I made a U-turn, went up and turned around and came back, and I parked in the center divider, and I literally picked this dog up. And again, I have my dash cam so you can see all this. I didn't do it intentionally, but I parked in a manner where you could see my actions going in, picking up this dog, and I carried her all the way across the street, set her down on the sidewalk, and she was not breathing. I had scanned her for a microchip, and she didn't have a microchip, and she was just about a year old, a little
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
so I set her down, and then I just said a little prayer for her, and I was standing up to leave, and one of her eyes blinked. And I thought to myself that it was just nerves, but I told myself I'm not going to feel comfortable leaving and calling animal control to pick up this deceased dog without checking. I bent down, put my hand on her chest, and her lungs filled up with air, and she started screaming.
Wow.
Stephanie,
wow.
can you sorry, I didn't take that. So she started screaming, and now I'm panicking. And it sounded like she was suffering and she was in pain. So I scooped her up and put her in my car and rushed her to the emergency vet, or I'm sorry, to my primary vet. And as soon as I went in, I had called them and told them that I was on my way. And because I'd been working with them with the rescue already, they had seen all of our animals, and they escorted me straight in to the back, and I put her on the table, and the gentleman's name was Jeff, the vet tech. And I said, we're going to have to euthanize her, right? And he said, I don't know, Dave. I think we might be able to save her. Let's try. And I said, if we can, let's do this. This poor little dog screaming. And she lasted through the day. And they told me we have to transfer her to an emergency vet. I had never used an emergency vet in my life. And I took her there, and I had no idea. Keep in mind, we're just barely generating enough donations to pay for a cat spay or neuter, $150,
Wow.
Mhm.
So I take this dog there that I just found in the middle of the street that most likely wasn't going to survive. And they said, it's going to be $7,000. I didn't have that money in the rescue, and I put it on my personal credit card. And I thought, I don't know how many we can cover this. I had to go home at night and tell my wife, I said, I just put $7,000 down on this dog that most likely isn't even going to survive.
My gosh.
So I thought to myself, how am I going to recoup this money? So I remembered I got the dash cam. So I looked at the footage, and it was perfect footage. And I put it all together, and I put a GoFundMe, and it took off.
Wow.
People got invested in this little dog. This was the first day it started growing. We got $1,000 and then $1,500. And then people were like, we need an update. So I went to the vet that day and I filmed her. She was in a coma and she was on life support on her. And I filmed it and said an update. She's still alive. She's breathing. She's hanging in there. The next day I went back and did an update. And after about 2 or 3 days, she came out of the coma and she was looking around, and that just sparked. People were like so invested in this little dog's survival.
Mm-hmm.
And I named her Miracle, and I called the page Miracle's Journey, and I created a Facebook page for her, and she had more followers than I did.
Wow.
No, I don't know. So next thing I know, her video started going viral, globally viral. People from all over the world were following this little dog's transformation from being picked up out of the street. And she spent like 3 weeks at the emergency vet. And every single day I would go and do an update, and people were waiting. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was walking through Target, and I'm walking, and there was a man, a lady, and I think they had a couple kids, and the man was behind, and he was on his phone, and I had just got back from visiting Miracle, and I just posted an update, and this gentleman's walking, and he tells his wife, he says, babe, they just did an update on Miracle.
Oh my God.
Walking right by him.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I just walked right by him with a smile on my face, and I thought, you know what? There's a lot of people following her progress. And she ended up costing about $18,000, and we generated every bit of that to cover her medical.
Wow.
So, yeah, and you can go on my YouTube page and find Miracle's Journey and see the whole story from start to finish.
That is.
I have her today.
Oh, wow. That is so amazing. Holy moly. The fact that, I mean, that's such a heartwarming thing to feel like, you see the traction and stuff, and then, but actually hearing someone just out of the blue walking past them, that's probably felt incredible. That's really awesome.
It's like one of those stories that you hear and you're like, you know what? Maybe the world isn't so bad.
Exactly.
Like,
and
really, really cool.
to hear people so invested that they're literally telling, instantly, as soon as they get that update, they're excited about it. That shows that they really care too, and those are good donators and everything like that. So that's an amazing story. I love it. All the stories you keep saying, I'll do one quick story. We'll listen to all the stories.
Keep them coming. Please.
All right.
Okay, cool. So I know you guys, I see you getting phone calls and stuff already, and I fully understand, and that kind of
we're trying to keep it to a minimum. Sometimes there's going to be something vitally important we got to take.
You're good. No, fully understand. That just kind of leads us into our next question. What does a typical day look like at Sierra Pacific Fur Babies?
Well, let me start by saying there's no such thing as a typical day.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah. If you want to group it all into chaos, then that's their typical day. But we might have a plan in our head of something that this is what we're going to accomplish today. And as soon as we I call it as when I got to hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we arrive at the facility, we have tunnel vision. We're going to do this, but we get steered this way and that way and every which way but what we are trying to accomplish. Just this morning, we had a camera crew that a gentleman wanted to follow us around and do some recording of our facility. I had a meeting with our tax consultant trying to prepare for 2025 taxes. Mm-hmm. One of our volunteers calls and says someone just dumped 2 little tiny dogs right down the street from us, and she's staying with them. So we got to send the team members down there to try to wrangle these dogs. So this was all just this morning.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm down there trying to get the dogs, and Stephanie calls me. She's like, "You got to get up here for the podcast."
Dang, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you never know what you're getting yourself into walking into work every morning. That's a bummer. I mean, just hearing people dumping the dogs. I mean, right down the street. I mean, like from you, that's kind of like just go to the. You guys are so close. Like at least ask for help or something. Like don't just dump them.
Oh, it happens so frequently here. we had a dog that I have cameras. I have 8 acres here on our facility.
Mhm.
Every inch of our property is covered with cameras, every square inch.
Yeah.
In fact, I even have the perimeter, the streets, the main streets covered with cameras. And when was Pebbles? A couple of years ago?
I would say 3 years.
Yeah, about
ago.
3 years ago. This Rottweiler wanders into our yard, and we ended up getting her. And I look at the cameras, and sure enough, I have it on video. This person pulls up right in front of our facility, reaches behind her, opens up the back door, and pushes out this Rottweiler, and then she drives off. And the dog is looking around like she's lost, and then she just wandered right into our gate. And
Wow.
yeah, that dog that I contacted the news agencies, and she was on Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 9. Every news agency did a story on that dog.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy. I mean, like, if you're gonna drop a dog somewhere, I think that dog was dropped in like the best possible place.
Yeah, definitely. But still,
Oh my
all
God.
you viewers out there, don't drop your dogs.
Seriously,
Like,
Right.
just come
Yeah.
so
on.
many better ways to go about it.
Yeah.
Like,
That kind of
Right.
just pissed me off a little bit.
Mhm.
Like, 'cause it's just so sad. Like, ah, man, it
It
really,
is very sad.
yeah. Oh man. Okay. You want to take the next one, Mr. Gabe?
yeah, absolutely. So, like that story that you just mentioned, I mean,
Mhm.
that it really tugs on your heartstrings. And you're doing stuff like that all the time, rescuing kittens, dogs, cats, all that sort of stuff. I know it can be so rewarding on the other hand. So how do you like deal with these losses?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you lose a pet or it doesn't go the way that you want, I'm sure that has to
Mm-hmm.
be pretty like emotionally taxing.
It is. I don't want to say that we get used to it, because we really never do get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we learn how to manage our grief,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about the only thing that we can do. Is we know we're going to be sad, we're going to be grief stricken. The team members, we all support each other. Some of us maybe having a bad week and take it harder than the other. A quick hug, a pat on the back. That's what we do. So we just know that we're not going to have 100% success rate. That's a given. We
Yeah.
know that we have to focus on the wins and not the losses.
Yep.
Doesn't mean to say that it's any less heartbreaking, because it is. And some of them, I don't know how to say this right, but some of them just hit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some of them hit harder.
Yeah.
And I think when I say that hits harder, it's because sometimes we may go into a rescue and we know we're fighting losing odds.
Mm-hmm.
And if we lose them, it's almost like we've mentally prepared ourselves. We know what we're up against, and we lose them, and we know we tried, we did our best. But there's sometimes it's literally an emotional roller coaster with what we do. We might save a cat or a dog, and it goes to the vet, and the first couple of days is good, and our spirits are up, and then we get the phone call that the cat or dog is declining, and now we're down, and then
Yeah.
maybe it starts to do better and we're up again, and then they might call and say, we're sorry, but the heart stopped and we couldn't get them back. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just literally an emotional roller coaster. Those are the ones that hit hard, because we're trying so hard to save every one of them, but we know we're not going to be successful on all of them.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of also, having a big team and stuff. And like you were saying, give some hugs, give a pat on the back
Yeah.
if needed. You guys really seem like a family there more than, like, I mean, your organization, but you guys are really close in the stories we've been told and everything. So having that, support group after a time like that, I'm sure is huge as well for, just coping and getting through that. But I can understand. Yeah, you put in a lot of effort and a lot of work, and you're really hopeful for that cat or dog to make it, and they don't. And like, yeah, that can be mentally taxing and just, just
Yeah.
just tough, in general. So, uh,
Absolutely. I mean, I know like from our side of the job, I mean, we deal with a lot of dogs like on social media, and there's certain dogs that we've worked with or, that you see all the time on the feed, and they have such short lifespans compared to
mhm,
us, and things happen. And when you see those posts about pets crossing the Rainbow Bridge, as they call it. It just like, it hurts a lot,
Yeah,
even though you're not connected to this dog other than like seeing
Right.
them through a screen, So
exactly.
that's definitely like super commendable. And like Drew was saying, it's really cool that you guys have like that supportive, like kind of family atmosphere,
Hmm.
because I'm sure without that it would be so hard to
Yeah, be
cope with these
harder.
kinds of
Yeah,
things.
harder
Yeah.
than it already is,
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and of course that we do have for all our viewers and listeners, we are running a very nice charity campaign with the Sierra Pacific Fur Babies right now. So, 50% of proceeds, profit proceeds from our cat condo. You can find that at freshpatch.com. A very fun little house for your cats made out of cardboard scratchers, but we are donating 50% of all profits back to Sierra Pacific Fur Babies. So if any of these stories are, resonating with you, or you're just willing to donate in any way to Sierra Pacific Fur Babies, take a look at the cat condo if you have a cat at home, or if maybe if you just want to gift it to somebody. 50% of that profit will be sent back, and we're really excited to do that. I know you've
Yeah.
mainly talked with Gabe and Adriana about this and coordinated with them, but this is a very we've actually never done something like this before as the company of Fresh Patch, and our CEO slash owner was very intrigued and excited that we brought this to the table, and he accepted it quick. Like it was a
Yeah.
yes, like
Oh yeah.
instantly, and he was like, do what you guys need to do, that sounds amazing. So we're just happy that we can support and try our best to help with the rescues, help with
Yeah.
anything you guys need. And you, like we've said it multiple times, you have a great organization. So yeah,
Yeah.
all you viewers, listeners, check it out,
We
Check it
appreciate
out.
the
freshpatch.com.
support. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're always looking for new ways to help out. So,
Hmm.
you know, this just happens to line up with a product that we've releasing that kind of relates to what you guys do, having a lot
Exactly.
of cats at your facility. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Do you
yeah,
mind if
check it
I
out.
touch on this really, really quickly
Yeah.
on the condo? Because I
Yeah.
got to tell you, and I'm not just trying to, you know, smooth you guys over, but our cats love the condos. They love them so much. It's just such a wonderful product. They really do. The kittens, the cats, they're always lounging in them. The kittens are playing on them. It's a fantastic product. So for the listeners out there, take it from us, the experts. They love them.
Beautiful. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
so
for
great to
that.
hear.
Yeah, and the video you guys made for us, like, oh, we were so stoked to see that. We
So
love
awesome.
multiple cats too, and they're
Yeah.
all in the condo, and like maybe they start pawing at each other, like, get out of
Mhm.
my space, like we just love that. And then of course, pairing it with the grass, has been a huge win. So everybody listening as well, you can pair it with our grass. The profits are only from the cat condo, but feel free to buy a piece of grass as well. See, get that enrichment going for your cats. Sierra Pacific Fur Babies cats love it. They
Oh
put
yeah.
the XL size, and I love seeing the cats. That's such a new thing for us too. Like we've always suggested it to cat owners and stuff, but 2025 was really the breakout year for
Mhm.
grass and cats on our side of things. So just meeting new people like you and seeing the reactions from the cats and the enrichment, just playing around in it is it's so cool to see. And I'm glad you guys are loving the product as well. And thanks for that quick testimonial. And let us know if you want another one. If they tear it up too much or
Yeah,
something, we'll be happy to send some more. So
most definitely.
They
uh,
like to try to tear them up, but they're surprisingly durable. They really
good,
are.
good.
Just really quick, that I got to tell you a funny story. This morning, one of our cats, Bobby, was in. We have one of the cat condos in our office,
Mhm.
and Bobby was in the house part of it, and the other cats were just unbeknownst to them walking by. They didn't know Bobby was in there, and every cat that walked by, this paw came out, and he just tagged every cat that went by, and they didn't even know. They're like walking by, and they were surprised, and I don't know, it was just comical that he's inside his little apartment and not letting any other cat near him.
Oh my
That is
God,
so
that's so
good. If
awesome.
you
Yeah,
can get a video of that, please
yeah,
send, because
yeah.
that is hilarious. I
I,
can already picture it in my head.
I've seen a few of those videos of them like kind of sticking their
Yeah.
paws out. It cracks me
yeah,
up every
Cranky old man, get off my lawn.
yep.
That's
Oh man,
great. That's
that's really
amazing.
cool.
It's cool. So, going off that, and you've kind of, said a little bit, but what does support like this mean for your organization? Whether that's, from us and the campaign we're running, but just in general, when people support your organization like this, what does that mean to you?
Well, it quite literally means saving lives.
Hmm.
Quite literally, and I'm not exaggerating. So the support that you guys provide for us and our followers, we're saving lives. It's just not a matter of feeding a cat or a dog. We're using the proceeds that we get, the donations that we get, to pay for vet bills, and in essence saving lives of some of these animals that we rescue.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, Stephanie brought up a good point. TNR stands for trap, neuter, and return. And I'm going to try not to make this too lengthy, but it is my passion. When I founded this rescue, I thought to myself way back then, we're trying to get these animals out of the shelters, and I like to use the analogy that I'm putting a Band-Aid on an artery bleed, doing what we do. I need to stop the bleed. And the way we stop that bleed is through trap, neuter, and return. We got to stop them from reproducing. We got to prevent the overpopulation of cats and dogs. And if we can prevent them from reproducing, we're going to stop many lives from going to the shelter and from being injured out on the street. So our passion is TNR. So in a sense, when people donate to us and companies like your organization donates to Sierra Pacific, we're saving lives through trap, neuter, and return, and through vet bills.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
That's incredible. We actually had a guest on a few months ago. She's from Phoenix, and apparently there's a really bad feral cat problem there. So she was telling us all about that, and like it's really cool to hear that that's a big focus of your guys's as well, because we know like how important it really is to like keep things under control.
Yeah, we were very educated this year from her. I mean, everybody that we were meeting involving cats with TNR, and that was something new to me that I had never really, I'm a dog person, like I said earlier. I'm allergic to cats, so I usually don't ever deal with cats too often and stuff. So hearing that and learning about that was super informative, and like it is an issue. Like it is an issue that, everyone's trying to resolve, and it is a bigger picture thing because I know how quickly it can happen. Like that was what we got educated on, in the sense of like, how young they can be if, a cat can get pregnant and like all that stuff. So yeah, really cool, and I'm glad that's, we can help out your guys' organization with more of that, and hopefully bring this population down. And it's going to take a while, and we're all in this together to
Absolutely.
help out. But yeah.
Yeah. So you've already mentioned like a couple really awesome rescue stories, but is there another one that maybe like stands out to you that, every time you think about it, it brings you back to this thought of like what I'm doing is really important?
Yeah, I'd like to tell you Shiloh's story.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Two that stand out. Uh, I will rescue anything that's alive. I really am. I'm the type of guy I'll relocate spiders. If a fly or a moth has landed in a water dish, I will scoop them out, dry them off, and let them be free. That's just the type of person I am. But so I guess probably about 8 years ago, I get a call. Um, I'm known for the guy that goes down in storm drains and rescues kittens that fall down in storm drains. And I'm kind of a small guy. I'm small frame, 5'6", and so I can fit in these tunnels very easily. And I'm not claustrophobic, not even the least bit.
Nice.
So I can go in these storm drains and get these kittens out.
Wow.
So I'd rescued a few kittens out of storm drains. And so I got the reputation in the rescue world about the guy that goes down and gets them. And I got a call down in San Clemente. There was a family of ducks that fell. All the babies fell in the storm drain, and it was about 15 feet down. And the mom was panicking. She was walking back and forth, and her babies were down in there. So I went down there and went down in the storm drain and rescued all the baby ducks. And unfortunately, the mom panicked. I think she took one or two and left with them. And we don't know where she went. When I got down there, just the babies were there. So they went to a wildlife rehab, and they were raised and released into the wild. That's one of my feel good stories for me. I liked my memory of rescuing the baby ducks out of the storm drain.
Oh my gosh.
But then
Piper.
Yeah, Piper's another story. Piper, I don't know how much time we have, but I'm going to touch on Shiloh And if we have time, I'll backtrack to Piper.
You're good.
Yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
gonna say one thing. Our
Oh, yeah.
Zoom might cut out. So if it does and the call ends, just hop back in. We'll turn it back on. We just have like a limited time on our
Oh, okay. How much time do we have?
pretty right. We're
I
good now?
think we
We're good now?
I'm pretty sure we
Okay.
upgraded.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to put that
But
warning
yeah,
out there.
okay.
that
Yeah.
happens if you start seeing something that says you have so much time, because
Yeah.
it would pop up on your screen too.
Okay. All right.
Just we can hop back on and figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
don't worry too much about it.
But please, if you have the time to tell these stories, we'd love to hear them.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Let's hear about
Christmas Day, December 25th. Do you remember the year?
Not this last year,
Not-
the year before.
Not last year, so not 25, not
24,
24.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was December 25th of 2024. We still got to come to the rescue. We still got to feed, do the chores, and then we try to get out early. So Stephanie, the rest of the team, we all agreed to meet her. We're going to get her early and then try to knock 2023. So we all agreed we're going to get to the rescue, knock out our chores, and go spend time with our families. And when I got off the freeway, there was
You weren't even off the freeway. You were coming
Yeah.
to the exit.
it was the off ramp on the sound wall. There was probably a 20-foot sound wall.
Uh-huh.
And up against the shoulder K-rail of the sound wall, there was a little black blob and I knew it was a dog, and he was curled up like.
Oh my
And
god.
I just knew that this poor dog had been hit by a car, and I stopped, backed up, and I figured he was deceased, and I was going to scan him for a microchip so I could notify the owner and give them some closure. As I was walking up to him, he lifted up his head and just started howling.
Mm-hmm.
Like Miracle Story.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he was a bigger dog. And when dogs are injured like that, they don't know you're trying to help them. They're going to try to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in a panic. I called the team. I called Stephanie. I'm like, you got to get the team and get here. I need help. There's a dog's been hit by a car. He's in really bad shape. So the team shows up, and we all managed to get him onto a blanket, and we rush him to the emergency vet. The doctor takes him back and does x-rays, and she comes back in the room, the grieving room they call it, and she tells me, unfortunately, we're going to have to euthanize this dog because he's in really bad shape. He's going to be paralyzed. There's nothing we can do for him. He has spinal injuries. And I told her, I don't want to do it. I don't want to euthanize him. I want to give him a chance. And she tried arguing with me, saying that he's going to be paralyzed. And I said, I'm used to bad odds.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give him a shot. So we did. We literally had to do physical therapy, rehab with him. Stephanie did, my daughter Ashley, myself, we all worked with this dog. We literally taught him to walk again. And Shiloh turned out to be a beautiful dog. He got adopted, and his mom and dad just love him.
Has birthday parties.
Yeah, she had a birthday party. I'm talking a big birthday party. We went to his birthday party. The whole team went there and got to see Shiloh.
Wow.
So
that is
that
special.
was a very special rescue right there.
My gosh, what kind of dog was he?
He was like a Labrador mix, mostly a mutt, but he was, you could tell he probably, I don't know if she did DNA on him, but he probably had a lot of mixes in him. But
Mm-hmm.
I would describe him as a thinner lab shepherd mix.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah,
right up your alley.
That's what my dog is. So that resonates with me for
Yeah,
sure.
Shiloh was on a dodo. So if you search Shiloh and dodo, his story will come up.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing. There we go.
Yeah.
Another right up your alley again.
Yeah.
I love the dodo.
I love the dodo. Dodo's so cool.
Dodo is great. Awesome.
Bringing those kinds of stories to light, it's like really, really awesome.
Yeah, it is. And then did you say you have one more? Or did you say?
If we have time, I'll try. This one's a little bit longer. I'll try to condense it, but
go for it.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday. I remember this like it was yesterday. I had just gotten here. The rescue. This was 2015. It was December, and it was cold. And I got here. The rescue wasn't quite as big, and I would just come here and feed the cats. I think I had 9 at the time, and go home, spend a day. Yeah. As soon as I pulled into the parking lot, I get a phone call that there was a kitten stuck in a storm drain. And I thought to myself, no problem. I'll just run up there. It's at the Costco near us in the parking lot. So I went up there, and it wasn't quite as simple as I had anticipated. this kitten, I thought he was in a storm drain big enough for me to go down and get, but it was literally an 8-inch pipe. There was
Oh
a
my God.
culvert that went straight down about 5 feet. And then there was an 8-inch pipe that went underneath the parking lot. And I literally had these guys, these big guys that lifted me up by my feet and dunked me into this hole so I could see through. And I looked, I could hear this kitten crying, but I could never see him.
Wow.
So we tried luring him out. We tried everything we can, playing kittens crying. This was early in the morning when I got there, and it was late at night. The very first night I'm there, it starts pouring down rain. People had come, people had gone, left. It starts pouring down rain, and the culvert starts filling up with water, and I could still hear this kitten meow, 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 meow. And then pretty soon the meow stopped. The culvert is filled with water, and I just thought to myself, he drowned. Mm-hmm. And I this is one of the most memorable videos that I have of myself. I'm in the car and I felt so defeated, and I felt like such a failure because I was posting updates and posting it on social media and saying, if anybody has any great ideas, I don't know what else to do. We got to get this kitten out. People were craziest ideas, but at the end, when he stopped crying, I got in the car and I videoed myself, and I'm soaking wet and I'm freezing cold and I'm shivering. And I said, I'm sorry. There's nothing more I can do. I couldn't get him out. Mm-hmm. So this was about 3:00 in the morning, and there was only 2 people there, myself and this other lady that had stayed. And what we were doing was, we were so cold, we would have the heater blasting in our cars, and one of us would relieve the other one. We would be out there trying to do what we can for as long as we can until we couldn't take the cold anymore. And we would get in the car, and then the other one would go out and try to get this kitten out. 3:00 in the morning, I told her, I said, we got to go home. He stopped crying. We don't even know where he's at. So I felt so defeated. I went home, and I woke up at I got just a couple hours sleep. I woke up at 6:00. I looked out my window, and it was a beautiful blue skies. The sun was out. Wow. Clouds had dissipated, and now it's Monday, and I told my wife, I said, I'm not going to work. I'm going to go try to get this kitten back out. Oh. So I go there with this new vigor that I'm going to succeed. And I'm there, and animal control truck pulls up, and I thought, oh gosh, and they're like, hey, we got a call. And I said, well, I'm trying to get the kitten out. Well, if you need any help, let us know. Can you tell the people to stop calling animal control? So I'm like, okay, I'll tell them. I put it on Facebook, stop calling animal control. Next thing I know, the fire department shows up, and they're like, hey, tell your people to stop calling us. There's nothing we can do. So I put on Facebook, hey, stop calling the fire department. I'm here trying. There's nothing they can do. And then the police show up, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of the Costco parking lot, and I put out some barricades and some caution tape, and I thought management said, you got to get out of here. So the cop comes up and he says, can you please tell your people to stop calling the police station? So I put it on Facebook, stop calling the cops, guys. Look, there's nothing they can do. So I'm videoing him, and we still don't know where he's at. We can hear him now, because as soon as I got there, I played the sound of kittens crying. And again, it's a beautiful blue sky. I got up to the same hole I was at. I played kittens crying, and he responded. He cried back, and I thought, he's still alive. When I heard him start crying, my heart just sunk. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get you out of here, buddy. Yeah. And so I had a neighbor at the time who was a plumber, and I called him. I said, do you have one of those cameras that you can put down in drain pipes? And he said, I'll be right there, Dave. I'm going to send my guy out there. So he comes out with this giant camera, and he pushed it in. And the thing is I don't know anything about plumbing. I'm an electrician by trade. So he knew. He was like, okay, somewhere over here, this pipe's going to go this way. Then there's going to be another pipe this way. And he said, they paved over one of the drain cleanouts. That's what we got to find. So he takes a bar and he starts tapping. You can hear the dink, the dink. So he's like, right here. They paved over. So I go to management and to Costco. I said, I got to bust open your sidewalk or your asphalt. And he's like, corporate already told me, do whatever you got to do to get this kitten out. Whatever this guy needs, give it to them.
Oh
So,
my
wow.
gosh.
yeah,
That is cool.
because people have been calling Costco corporate, and they told the manager, whatever this guy needs, let him get that kitten out.
That's amazing.
That's
And
amazing.
so-
Shout out Costco.
Wow.
Shout out for Costco. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And matter of fact, really quick. So we're all now there's a bunch of people and we're trying to get the kitten out. And the manager comes and he's got a shopping cart full of pizzas. And he's like, I got a bunch of pizzas for the team here.
Wow.
So they gave us lunch and everything. It was an awesome whole community coming together.
That's amazing.
So my plumber guy, he says, okay, I found. So what it is there was a pipe that went straight down and then 90'd over. And what it is when these main pipes get clogged with debris, they have to have another place to clean it out. They push this snake through and it pushes all the debris out, but they have to have midpoints to do that. So he knew that it would be there, and sure enough, it was there. And when we broke out the asphalt, we opened up the lid and we looked down. There was the kitten about 6 feet down looking up at us.
Wow.
And yeah. So now the pipe is, again, it's like a 5-inch pipe, and we're thinking, how the hell are we going to get this kitten out of here? Because when he would see us, he would run and he would come back up and look straight up at us. So one of the team members, he says, I got an idea. It's kind of, iffy, but what if we use one of those giant glue traps and we put a string around it and we just drop it down the hole and then put some tuna on top of it? And I thought, you know what? It's iffy, but it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So we got one of these giant traps and we slid it down the hole, and it was like fishing. We could feel the kitten get on it, and we pulled him out and just put a little olive oil. We pulled him up and he stuck to this glue trap and put a little olive oil in it, and they come right off.
Yeah.
And that's how we got Piper out of the pipe.
That is so
Piper.
cool. Is that how she got her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, we named him Piper.
Oh my god, that is so awesome.
I
Wow.
love it. That's genius.
This rescue turned into, we call it a 33-hour. We were out there for 33 hours trying to get this kitten out of the storm drain.
Wow. Holy moly. Yeah, rain, not just 33 hours, but in the rain as well. And fire department, police department.
I have to tell you, we work with a lot of rescues and stuff. Like, some of these stories that you're sharing are some of the most incredible rescue stories I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. This is really
Of
cool.
course.
Yeah. Amazing. And shout out to Piper, shout out to Costco
Yeah.
again. Good job. I know that's a good organization, especially helping you out. And the pizzas. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Costco pizza for a little reward,
Another thing I want to say is I feel like you are the epitome of using virality for good. You know what I mean?
100%.
The fact you saying people are so intently following this journey, and they're calling the police, they're calling the firefighters, and maybe it wasn't the right thing to do, but the intention was good.
Yeah. They're calling corporate Costco.
Yeah.
That, I mean, just to
It's so cool.
Yeah, your community is amazing.
Yes.
It is. It really is.
Absolutely.
And we see that on our videos too, that when we have worked together, collab together and stuff like that, it's instant too. Your people are in the comments, everyone's supportive. It's so cool to see. So that's amazing. So
rescue. It was really was. One really quick. I got to tell you that while I'm out there, before we got him out, I took a phone call. People were calling saying, "Hey, I can come up there and help you." I took a phone call, and I can't remember the lady's name, but it was she said, "Hi, this is Beth with the Humane Society of the United States. I understand you're out there trying to get this kitten out of the storm drain. We just wanted to offer our assistance. If there's anything you need from us, don't hesitate to call us and ask." And I was like, never even heard of them, but that's awesome.
Wow.
Incredible.
Humane Society of the United States. Holy, I've never heard of that either. I didn't know that was a thing. That's crazy. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's word spreads fast for you guys, which is so cool. So
Absolutely.
awesome. So yeah, that wraps up all our questions. There is one more just to kind of give you guys a little shout out. Besides the campaign we're running with our donations, what's the best way for people listening today to support Sierra Pacific Fur Babies or get involved for volunteering or any way to just get involved?
Well, for starters, go to Fresh Patch, get yourself that kitty condo, because 50% of the proceeds are going to come to Sierra Pacific. The proceeds of profits for that. So, and not only that, so you'll be supporting Sierra Pacific, but we know that our followers are going to be happy with that product. So that's one way.
There we go.
But we also have social media. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and we have our pages, Sierra Pacific Fur Babies. Most of my following are on my personal page, which is David Loop 65. Loop is just like it sounds, a circle, LOOP. So David Loop 65. If you look that up, people can also plug David Loop 65 in their Google search, and a lot of our rescue videos will come up. We've been featured on the Dodo many times. But if you go to the link in my bio on any of my social medias, my personal ones, you click on that link and that will take you to other links for social medias. And also we have our Fresh Patch link on there. And we have donation platforms such as Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. We do have Zelle, and it's just under my email, which is david@sierrapacificfurbabies.com. We can accept Zelle. And all the links are in the link in my bio, the Linktree link.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Guys, if you're watching, like, please support Sierra Pacific if you can. If the cat condo is not the right product for you, there are so many other ways to help. So just,
Yeah.
you know,
If I may, yeah, you know what? We certainly appreciate donations, but people don't realize that just by following us, you're supporting us.
Oh, yeah.
By following, liking, commenting, sharing our posts, you're helping us too. If you can't afford to donate, or if you can't afford the kitty condo or the grass, just hit the follow button and just watch our videos. And I'm sure that they'll be interested, and share that with your family and friends.
Beautiful. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So any support is helpful. And, we really appreciate you guys again for hopping on with us and joining the Fresh Patch podcast. You guys are doing amazing work. And before we wrap up, just one more time for all the viewers at home and listeners, hit that subscribe button if you are watching on YouTube, Spotify podcast, Apple Podcasts. Follow at Fresh Patch on all socials, and check out freshpatch.com, especially for that cat condo. We're going to be running that for about another 3 weeks. So get it in while you can and get those donations over to Sierra Pacific Fur Babies. So David, everybody, thank you very much again. Gabe, do you have any final?
Yeah, just thank you so much again. And, but from the first time, we met at CatCon, like, I knew you guys were a special group. So it's really, something we've been talking about doing for a while, and it's really special for us to finally get this going and get some of these incredible stories out there, and just like your story of how Sierra Pacific Fur Babies got started. So I'm hoping the people will enjoy it, and
Yeah,
I have a good feeling they will.
Yeah.
We're willing for a part 2 if you guys want to do this again.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I'm down to listen to more stories. I want.
Yeah. we have a lot more.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody. Thank you guys again, and we will see you all on the next episode of the Fresh Patch podcast. Later.
Bye. Right. Thank you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Fresh Patch podcast, where good pets get it. We hope you enjoyed the show. Give us a like or a follow, and shop all real grass supplies at freshpatch.com.